When I first reviewed the Libernovo Omni, I was testing a pre-production sample. Since then, we've moved past the beta version and now have a final production model. I've been sitting in the Omni for about 6 months, and this will be my full review highlighting what changed, how those updates improved it, and then I'll cover all the ergonomics, comfort, and real-world use. Stick around until the end because I'll be updating my rating and share whether this final version earns the coveted S tier spot. Assembly is straightforward, all the main parts of the chair go together in a logical order, but don't expect the one-step, set the top on the bottom type process like most high-end chairs. From start to finish, expect about 20 minutes to get it fully built. A large part of what makes the Omni special is the seat. It uses different foam densities so your weight is supported where you need it, staying firmer towards the back of the seat and then softer at the front. So you sink into the cushion the perfect amount to feel supported and never bottoming out through the pad. Just be aware you do sink into that seat and it can cause some heat buildup during long sessions. The seat is open with no hard edge or frame underneath. This lets you move around and sit in different positions without feeling any pressure points. The arms sit far enough back to give you room to kick up your feet if you'd like to change your sitting position. For the final version, Libernovo added 2 seat depth options, 45 and 48 centimeters. My measurements put those at about 19.5 and 21 inches. Both seats are 21 inches wide. So the deeper version doesn't make the seat feel wider. For taller users, the deeper pad makes a real difference. In my first review, I said the seat was borderline S tier. Now this new, deeper seat depth version moves it solidly into S tier comfort. As much as I've fallen in love with this chair, I understand it's not going to be for everyone. If you want to see how we rank all the top office chairs, click the link in the description for our guide. The backrest shares that same supported feeling as the seat, with soft, forgiving pads that use the same material and overall style. That repeated comfort from the seat to the back is part of the magic that makes this chair so relaxing to sit in. It's a similar experience to the Embody, where that suspended feeling carries through the seat and the backrest. The Omni gives you that same balanced support from top to bottom. The back moves with you instead of locking you into one position, and it never forces your back against a hard frame. Whether you're sitting upright or leaning back, the weight spreads evenly and you stay fully supported without pressure points. The only change I found on the backrest was the logo. It now clearly shows the Libernovo name instead of some abstract symbol that came on the early model. When I put on the pressure mapping vest and checked it out on the software, you can really see how my weight spreads out across the seat and the backrest. Even when moving around in the chair, my weight stays evenly distributed. Libernovo's powered piston has 2 jobs, adjustable lumbar support and a traction style stretch. You can dial in how much support you want, similar to a car seat with a powered lumbar. At full extension, it's stronger than most people will ever need, and when you back it off, the support stays noticeable without feeling like it's pushing into your back. The traction stretch slowly pushes out and then pulls back in. It's meant to stretch your back, not a full massage. Overall, it feels nice, but it's not something I used often. When it fully extends, it actually gets to the edge of being uncomfortable. Then it releases back. It's a cool feature to have, but again, not something I use constantly. The chair's comfort doesn't depend on it, but it does add a nice little break during long work sessions. The armrests are definitely an area where I'd say the Omni falls short of S tier. They did make some nice improvements, but there's still some misses here. The width adjustment is much more solid now, which fixes one of my main complaints from the early version. Once you set them, they'll stay in place. The depth adjustment has a big range, and the pivot motion makes it easy to find a comfortable spot for typing and relaxing. The arm height, this is where my biggest issue is. Even at its lowest setting, they sit higher than I would like. So this can cause my shoulders to lift up slightly and cause more fatigue over time. This isn't a deal breaker necessarily, but if Libernovo updates the chair again, this is the first thing that needs some attention. The pads have a good amount of cushioning. They're soft enough to rest on for long stretches. Overall, I'd give the arms a B+ tier. They're comfortable and improved, but they're just not at the level of the best high-end chairs. The recline on the Omni is one of its best features. It goes further back than most office chairs, and the motion feels smooth and predictable. You can set it up to limit your recline. This is great for gaming because it puts you in a comfortable spot for mobile or controller use. When you bring it upright, it lands in a perfect position for focused tasking at the desk. The recline tension is responsive, and the tilt lock positions feel intentionally designed to be at the right angles. My favorite spot is one notch before fully open. This is where I can lean back, stay supported, and still be able to reach everything at my desk. The headrest has improved a lot since the early version. The height adjustment now holds firmly, and it takes effort to move it. This is exactly what you want, so it doesn't surprise you by falling randomly during the day. The pivot is also tighter, so it stays where you want it to be. The padding and fabric match the backrest perfectly, which helps it feel like one connected piece instead of an add-on. Once it's adjusted correctly, it lines up right where it should be, supporting your head whether you're sitting upright or reclined. And credit to Libernovo for including it rather than selling it as an extra. Now that all the Kickstarter offers are sold out in the US, the only way to buy the Omni is directly from Libernovo's website. The chair alone sells for about $850, with no footrest or extra battery included. The powered features are nice to have, but not essential to what makes this chair great. I'd love to see Libernovo offer a non-motor version that drops about $100 off the price. That kind of option would really boost the overall value and make the chair more accessible for buyers focused on ergonomics and comfort. I'd only recommend the footrest for shorter users who need to bring the floor up to their feet. It looks great and it matches that same fabric and padding as the seat and backrest. They fixed a lot of problems from that prototype version, but there are a few things still worth mentioning. While the overall build quality feels solid, it's not quite at the same level as the established brands like Steelcase or Herman Miller. The materials look good and they fit together well, but there's still a lot of movement in the parts, especially compared with those higher end chairs. It's a really good quality chair, just not what I'd call premium. The arm height still remains a big issue for me, lifting my shoulders higher than I'd like during long sessions. And finally, the warranty is a bit of a question mark. Libernovo is still a new company, and while everything has held up great during testing, they don't have the same history and long-term support as the established brands. None of these are deal breakers, but they're worth keeping in mind if you're comparing the Omni to similarly priced chairs. The final production version of the Omni builds on what made the original special and fixes most of those early concerns. The deeper seat pushes comfort solidly into S tier, and paired with the backrest and headrest, it's one of the most comfortable chairs I've tested, period. Because of the price point, likely inflated with what I'd consider an unnecessary powered features, the overall rating for the chair lands at A tier. Still, this is one of those chairs I'd easily recommend for long hours of working or gaming. If we're ranking comfort alone, I give this S tier. With an overall value at A tier, that's a strong result for the brand just getting started.